Hello and welcome to Cornish Fishing Tales. In this video I'm going to show you and talk about my 3 favourite lures that I used in 2024. This is my channel. I go fishing. I show you videos of me go fishing. I'm trying to do a little bit more tutorials and stuff. At the moment I've had an operation last week on my hand. I've got carpal tunnel in both hands, so I've had an operation on this hand last week, and I'm going to have an operation on this hand Monday next week. So it's about 4 weeks till I can go fishing. So pretty much all I can do. I did plan to do it a bit sooner after this hand, but being my right hand, it's really been quite difficult to use a mouse or anything. Do anything basically. So yeah, it's about a week down the line now. I can use my hand. I can do stuff with the mouse. So I'm going to make this video on my 3 top favourite lures. Okay, so on with the show. Lure number 3, my 3rd favourite lure of 2024, and here it is. You've probably never seen one of these before, and that's because my friend who I go fishing with, Duncan, makes them. But I'm going to call this a Surf Seeker. Savage Gear sell Surf Seekers. I've got one in my pot here. They're the same deal pretty much. They do the same thing. I just prefer Duncan's ones because he makes them and he's my mate. They are stainless steel, Duncan's ones. They're a little bit heavier than these. So I just find they give me a little bit more casting distance. But if you want to buy one, I don't think Duncan's selling them just yet. He may do one day. But if you want to buy one, get Savage Gear one. They're good, real good lures. So why is this my 3rd favourite lure of 2024? Well, basically because it's caught a lot of fish. It's a fantastic lure. Again, I'm going to talk about this as if it was a Surf Seeker, because Duncan's kind of modelled it on a Surf Seeker, and it performs the same. It does the same thing. So yeah, where would I use this lure? Well, I wouldn't use this lure in a really shallow rocky location because of that treble hanging down there. But these lures are killer in surf. They're killer on a sandy beach. They're killer on deep rock marks. Start of the season, for some reason, these Surf Seeker style lures seem to be catching all the bass on deep rock marks, which is a bit weird really, because they're kind of almost, these, in my opinion, Surf Seekers are almost like a surface lure. In saying that, they do have this treble, so although they work along the surface, that's naturally, as you wind these lures in, they come up and they kind of, that stays out of the water, and they just look like a fish on the top of the water, a bit waggle side to side, look like an injured fish. That's why they work. So yeah, the fact that a lure that runs across the surface in the way that it worked on deeper water marks early in the season, it's a bit of a brain teaser really, but they worked. They work. Yeah, so I mean, with these, really, the benefit of these lures is they cast to the horizon. They go miles, so you're going to get out a little bit further. And they handle, because they're metal and they've got a bit of weight to them, they kind of handle the surf quite well. When they're in the surf, they kind of cut through the waves, and they just work. They work well in the surf. I do use another lure in the surf, which I'll go over in a minute. But these are killer. Surf Seekers are killer lures. Really good lures. If you're in a situation where you're fishing a beach, you're struggling with surface lures, etc., because the waves are like 3-4 foot, put one of these on. These will work. If you're in a situation where you're getting hits, but like only at the max distance of your lure, and then you're not getting nothing as you're retrieving in, it's just when you first hit you're getting hits but you're not connecting up, then stick one of these on and you might get a bit more distance and get into those fish before you reel out of them. If you imagine if this is the shoreline here and you're fishing here and the fish are here, but you're only casting to sort of here, you might get the odd fish see your lure and hit it, but you want to really be casting over the top and dragging it through them, dragging through that shoal of fish. So if the fish are a little bit further out, try a Surf Seeker. And here's a quick clip of video showing me doing exactly that. All three prongs in its mouth, yeah. So on to my second favourite lure of 2024. Sidewinder Bass Stick. Killer lure. Absolute killer lure. Seems to pick out the bigger fish. You do catch schoolies on them, but they seem to pick out the bigger fish, these lures. And they catch loads of fish. They're really good lures. On a shallow water mark that's very rocky and very snaggy, this is my go-to lure. This is what I'll go to. You basically buy them in two bits. So you buy the sticks, which is this part there. You buy the sticks. It's got a rattle in it. It's got a rattle. Rattles are brilliant. Rattles really work. So yeah, you buy the sticks in packs of 4. I get them from Jim's Hardware. There's one in Bodmin, but they don't actually sell the tackle there anymore. I get them online from the one in Red Roof. And then you buy these hooks. This is a weighted hook. They're very good when the waves are up or it's a strong rip current. Sometimes you need these weighted hooks on these just to get the lure down a bit. And for you to be able to get to the fish, to be able to work down a little bit, because sometimes they don't want it on the top, they want it down a little bit. So yeah, the weighted hooks are excellent. However, you can get unweighted hooks, and these lures work better with unweighted hooks. If it's a flat calm day, put an unweighted hook on these lures. There's so much more you can do with them. All I can say is there's so many different ways you can retrieve these. I can't even really begin to go over it unless I'm on the bank, and I can't go to the bank at the minute because of my hand, but there's so many different ways to retrieve these, and all I can say is just experiment as you're fishing. But yeah, so how you rig them up basically, see it says Sidewinder on the side, so I take that as that's written, so that's the top. Which is where that rattle is. You can see there that hole that rattles in there, that glass rattle. So if you get your screw-in hook, hold it like that, and screw your Sidewinder Bass Stick in, or the weighted hook into the Sidewinder Bass Stick. Screw it in until that little tab there is inside, so the hook can't slip out. And then you just want that Sidewinder facing up. You see that? The writing's facing up, and it's on the side. And then you put the hook like that, hold your fingers there because that's the end of the hook, and you know that that's where you've got to go through the lure for it to work. Right, so see, that's not pushed up like that and all twisted. That's nice and natural, the way that bass stick is sitting with that hook there. But the point's still there, so that can still catch on things. So what you do is you pull this piece of rubber forward, push the hook in, and then let it sit in there. And different ways of doing that make this lure act different. So if you, for example, pull a lot of material and then pull a lot of material back that way and then stick the lure in, so it kind of, you see that now is not, that bit's going down and that's not straight like it was a minute ago. Sorry, there's a dog hair on there. That will kind of, if you do it like that, see, that's kind of facing down. For some reason, when you retrieve that lure will start to go down. They're brilliant. But most of the time, I kind of try and rig them so they're like that, and I'll give them a very erratic retrieve, and that will just make this just look like an injured fish. Fantastic lures, absolutely brilliant lures. Don't really work in large surf or strong rips very well, and they don't really, in my opinion, work that great at deep water marks. But shallow water, killer lure, absolute killer lure. And here's an example of me and Dunk catching a few on that.
Happy days, go on Dunk! Stupid me, swap to another lure. Them lures are f***ing brilliant, them white lures. That's only a little fish. How did that fish go? It's recording as well. Oh well, forgot to press record, but happy days, that's 2 fish. We've been here about, what, 20 minutes, something like that. It's 2 fish already. We've got a 5 gram bit of lead on the bottom of the hook. But these lures, when you've seen, Duncan's been fishing the shit out of me. And then pull it up with the leader. That's it, that's it, that's it. Hang on. You got it. That's a decent one.
And the hooks that I get, you can buy the Sidewinder ones. I think they was out of stock when I bought these. So the Savage Gear ones are those. That's the weedless, that's sorry, not weedless hooks. They are weedless hooks, but that's the unweighted Savage Gear hooks. They're a size 6.0, and in the hook pack you get 6 hooks. And that's what I use with the large bass sticks. I think they're 140 mil. Those lures are 140 mil long. So the 140 mil bass stick, you want either the Sidewinder lure hook to suit that size, because there's 2 sizes in the Sidewinder bass sticks. There's shorter ones and there's these 140 mil. So you want the bigger hook, the Sidewinder bigger hook, or in the Savage Gear ones, I use a 6.0. Killer lures. One thing I did forget to mention is with these weedless hooks, and I actually prefer this way. I don't tend to buy so many of the weighted ones now, but with the unweighted hooks, you can get a piece of roofing lead and cut a strip about that thick and about that long, and you can wrap it around the shank of the hook here and make yourself a weighted hook. And you can have different little bits of lead, one 5 gram, one 10 gram, one 15 gram, give you all different weighted options for these bass sticks, and they are killer. They are really good lures. So yeah, get yourself some bass sticks. Right, and my #1 lure of 2024 is the very humble AliExpress jelly. I think these are modelled on a Keitech Shiner or something like that. I was buying some lures very similar to these, same pattern, that sort of dark on the top, light on the bottom, and they've got like a pinky sheen. I don't know if the camera's really picking that up because that lure's filthy as well, but if I show you that one, sorry, they're all covered in fluff and stuff, it's just this silicone stuff just picks it all up. But can you see that kind of greeny pinky tint? It's like almost like a holographic pearlescent sort of effect to it. That colour, absolute killer colour, absolute killer colour. That's accounted for every single one of my PB bass since I moved to Cornwall and started bass fishing. That simple little lure. You get 5 of them in a pack for £1.12, and I either use one of those paddle heads, or sorry, weighted heads. So that's a weedless style. Right, sorry about that, battery ran out. So yeah, I either use that style hook, that's a 14 gram weight on there, and a weedless hook, or I use that style when I'm not in fear of getting caught up. I'll gravitate to this. It's got a 20 gram head and just a standard J hook. These J hooks are so strong. I've got so much confidence in those hooks not bending out. The weedless ones are a little bit more bendy, so you're gonna have to play the fish a little bit lighter with those, but they work. Great lures. You don't really need to do a lot of retrieve with this. You can do walk the dog, you can jig your rod. Give you a little story. I was fishing at a rock mark that I love, and I was trying to catch with one of these, wasn't catching. I tried the jig sort of as I was reeling in, that jiggy sort of movement that you do, and I caught my PB bass, caught a £4 15 ounce, I think it was, bass, 60 something centimetre, 62 centimetre, 63 centimetre, something like that. Yeah, I'm one of them. Every single PB bass I've caught in Cornwall has been on that pattern of lure. All these lures I'm going to link down there in the description. apart from Duncan's one, because he's not selling them yet. If anyone wants to buy one off Duncan, down there in the comments, and he might think twice. But these lures have caught me so many fish this year. Me and Duncan fished a session, just one of the late sessions we fished in autumn. We had 21 bass between us in 40 minutes on one of these lures. Fantastic lures. They come in a range of different colours. I use that one most of the time. There's a white, which is excellent, and there's also, I use a black. That's really all I tend to find I need. And like I say, I have a rig and weedless like this, so the same affair as the bass stick. You pull that and you point your hook in there. When the fish bites, that comes out and gets the hook in its mouth. Or I fish them with a standard J head. So quickly show you how to hook them up. That's the right way up, so that tail faces down like that. Can you see that? That tail faces down. So that hook will sit in there like that. So you kind of want to be coming through about here. Yeah, so if you put a little mark there with a hook, and then if you go in like that, and bear in mind you want to come out the top, so you're going to go like that, so that's going to come out the top. So in at the nose, thread it through, out in the gap, and then you just push that over that barb. That's ready to rock. And as long as it's not too shallow and too weedy and rocky, that's my chosen way of fishing this lure. If it is weedy and rocky, I will fish it weedless like that. And to rig them weedless, it's a little bit different, so you kind of do it backwards. So that's the tail there, and I'm going to come out that way with the hook like that. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to go to the bottom first. So if I pull the bottom round to this side, and I'm going to go in the top and then just almost straight out the bottom there, look, like that. Yeah, see that? Straight out the bottom there. And then you want to feed your hook through until you get to this bend, and then turn it and push it in as it goes in, and that bend will hold the lure on the hook. And then you can see where that comes out. You can see there the bend, the hook's is about there. So if I put my hook through the lure there, come out the top, there you go, perfect weedless presentation. Put the hook in, done. And they are absolute killer lures. Like I say, I'll put the link to the jig heads and the lure bodies down there. They come from AliExpress. I think the J head jig heads like that, I think you get 20 for £6. And I think this weedless ones are a little bit more expensive. They're about £6 or £7. I can't remember how many you get now. Let's see. I don't know, but you get about 10 or 15, something like that, of the weedless ones. Yeah, so that's my three favourite top lures of 2024. I'm not saying you've got to fish them. You've probably got some different lures that your favourite lures. And my strong opinion on lures is, and I had a go at for saying this, but my strong opinion on lures is use a lure that you're confident in. If you are new and you've not got a lure that you are confident in, well, use a lure that someone else is confident in, i.e. me, or i.e. Fish Locker or Henry Gilbey, or someone that you have faith in them and their opinion. So maybe not me, but someone that you have faith in their opinion, what lure they say is good, well, just use that lure, and don't worry about. If you're not catching on that lure, it's not because the lure doesn't work, it's because you're in the wrong place or you're doing something wrong. It's not because that lure doesn't work. If someone else is catching on a lure, that works. You need to think a little bit about the location you're fishing in. Like I say, you can't really fish that style of lure in a shallow water location or a very rocky. Good if it's sand, you could, but if it's rocky or weedy or kelpy, you're just going to lose them all. So yeah, you need to think a little bit about what you're using and maybe choose 2 or 3 lures that you have faith in or someone has told you are proven fish catchers. When you've got 3 different lures that will cover different scenarios. So for example, that one I use for shallow water, that one I use on a surf beach that's sandy, that one I'll use in a multitude of situations, that one I'll only use when I can't get snagged up. Do you see where I'm getting at? Once you get confident and understand where to use those lures, you've not really got much reason to be changing around lures, really, and buying a different lure a week. It's the same thing with carp fishing. People do it with carp fishing, and they'll buy a bait and they'll start feeding a bait on a lake and trying and doing a bait campaign, and then 2 months down the line they'll change the bait, and then your baiting campaign don't work no more because you've been feeding with a certain bait and you've lost confidence in it because you believe that bait doesn't work, but the bait does work. The fish are eating it, you've been feeding, you're doing something wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say, and what I was trying to say in the last video that I'd done, the 5 mistakes video, it's up there, was you need to have confidence in your lure, and if you have confidence in your lure, you don't have much reason to change it. If you're not catching, it's because the fish ain't there. The bass aren't as picky as people lead you to believe, and fishing manufacturers are trying to make money, so they're going to try and sell you as many lures as they can, and this new wonder lure, that new wonder lure. There's not really such a thing in the world. Lures are lures and they all work. You can't catch fish that aren't there. No matter what bait you use, no matter what lures you use, you cannot catch fish that aren't there. So yeah, that's enough of my ramblings for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you might have learned something, or you're going to go and buy some lures because you don't know which lures work, and I've said these lures work, and I hope they catch you some fish. If there's fish there, I can almost promise you they will catch you fish if there's fish there. So yeah, I hope you get something out of this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. Give me a bad comment. I don't mind people putting bad comments. One thing I do mind is people being a little bit aggressive, or people being insulting, or people typing in capital letters. You just rub me up the wrong way, and you're going to get kind of mirrored of what you've given, really, from me. So yeah, I don't mind bad comments, I don't mind constructive criticism. Go ahead, but just don't be rude. It's unnecessary. Yeah, so that's my video for today. I hope you're all out there fishing while I'm sat at home with my hands. The weather's looking pucker today, things are warming up, spring is coming. Not going to be long, guys, and we're going to be out there catching loads of bass. Cheers.